Okie dokie. So today I'm going to clean up this valve cover on the passenger side, and I'm going to get it cleaned up. Whenever I powder coated, I had to sandblast to get the material bare. So I'm gonna I'm gonna take this valve cover back off. I'm gonna clean it up really good, and then I'll put the coil pack on it. I got a bunch of parts in. I got spark plug wires, the fiberglass insulators for the wires. I got a bunch of exhaust. I got all my exhaust stuff here. I got heim joints for the 4-link for the rear. I got an alternator, power steering pump, just a bunch of stuff like that. So I'm gonna get that done, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this valve cover off, clean it up really good, get all that sand out of there, make sure it's all good. LSs are really common to leak on the valve cover gaskets, so I always silicone them. This one's already done. I've already got the coil packs cleaned up, put on. Valve cover's clean, everything's good there. So I do the same thing to this side, and then I'll put the wires on it. My plan for today is get that done, of course, and then I'm thinking maybe just doing figuring the downpipe out, getting it ran. I'm not going to finish my exhaust up completely until my 4-link is complete, so I don't have any clearance issues. You know, build the exhaust and then, oh no. So I'm going to do that first, get the downpipe, and then get the 4-link done. Not today, obviously, I don't have the DOM tubing, but I did get some really nice heim joints. Some really nice heim joints here for the rear. So I'm not going for a crazy stance or anything, just pretty much stock height. I've already got shackles on this, some lowered shackles on it before I decided to do the 4-link. I've already bought shocks and everything for it, so I'm going to try to reuse those shocks and just do the 4-link. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I've got the valve cover cleaned up. I've got the coil pack cleaned up and installed. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the spark plug wires on. I've got the spark plugs in. I put the spark plug wires on with those carbon fiber or fiberglass insulators, whatever they are, and then we'll update you with that. Okay, I've got the valve cover cleaned up, both coils put on. Got my spark plug wires with those insulators on them. These are just some cheapos off of Amazon. I think I paid like 20 bucks for them, and then MSD 8.5mm wires. They ought to work just fine. Got both sides done. Instead of working on the downpipe next, since I did get my alternator and power steering pump, I think I'm going to work on getting that bracket secured completely, and then putting my power steering pump and then my alternator on top, and then we'll see what happens there. So, okay, one more thing to note before you put your power steering pump on is if you've changed the oil pump or rebuilding an engine or something, there's a plug that goes right where that hose is sticking out. It's this plug here. It's an 8mm Allen, and it just goes in right there. Before you put everything back together right here, because your power steering pump will, it's got the bracket that bolts here and then, to the head and the block. So before you put all that stuff in there, it's a good idea to prime your oil pump. So you just stick a hose in there and you fill it up with whatever oil you're using, and it primes your oil pump so it's not so hard on startup. It's not necessary, but I think it's a pretty good idea. I do them in every LS build that I do, just peace of mind, I think. So now you know. Okay, so right now I've got the alternator put on. I still need to order alternator bolts for it. Got the power steering pump put on, the power steering pump bracket. All the lines are all plumbed up and everything there. I'm starting to work on the downpipe now. Okay, so like I said, I have an AC Delco alternator. I think this is a Cardone or something like that. Power steering pump, factory bracket, everything bolts up nicely. So I ordered a new line, the pressure line. I ordered it for an 85 C10, and I just kind of tweaked it, and honestly I think it fits in there really nicely. So I'm just gonna rock that one. People say you can run the corresponding line for this power steering pump out of like an 03 or so Silverado or something like that. But I ordered a factory one, and it fits in there really nicely. And then for the return line, it's still the factory line coming out of the steering gear, and I just have it kind of looped around and going back into the pump here. So everything fits really nicely there. I haven't got the gear pressed on yet, it's just kind of sitting on there. The wires, everything clears there. I also got the AC tensioner on. Right now I'm working on the downpipe, and I ordered a universal, exhaust 3-inch exhaust kit, and it came with two 45s, two 90s, two 180s, and 2 pieces of straight. Right now, I just have a 45 in there right now, and honestly, it fits in there like perfect. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come off the turbo. I got a V-band for it. I'm going to come off the turbo with this 45, and then use the other 45 at the bottom to make it level, to counteract the 45s. That crossmember that I have, it's got notches in it. The crossmember is made to have 2 3-inch pipes shooting back, if you have headers or something. So it's got a nice hump in it to clear 3-inch exhaust on both sides. So I'm just going to run this 45 and cut a piece of straight pipe to extend it, and then for the other 45 to go back. And it should be pretty nice right there. I'm pretty surprised how well that 45 fits in there. It clears the spark plug wire, it clears the evaporator box. So I'm pretty happy with that right there. It doesn't look too bad. So I'll get that pipe cut to extend this other 45 down, and then we'll go from there. I'm only going to make the down pipe, like I said. I'm still waiting for my 4-link. I'm still waiting for the tubing so I can finish the 4-link on it before I build the exhaust. I'm going to build the exhaust around the 4-link rather than building the 4-link around the exhaust. So, but yeah, so that's all I've got done so far. A lot of it was just kind of figuring out what would fit, what wouldn't fit, but it all fits up in there really nice. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Alrighty, I've got the downpipe just about completed. I don't have it welded on this V-band yet. I think I'm going to shorten it just a little bit more. So I'm touching that wire right there, but I've got really good clearance. I just think I'm going to shorten it just a little bit more, just to get it to suck up and get away from that wire and away from that firewall just a little bit better. But that was pretty easy. It was just 145 with a straight piece, an extension in the middle, and then another 45 going out. So it was really simple, not too bad right there. So it's all in there. I've got it all welded up. Both pieces there, you can see they're welded up. It has plenty of clearance on the bottom side. I'm just going to shorten it up a little bit more, see how it fits. Hopefully it fits, it clears that wire just a little bit more. And I found some alternator bolts, so I'll go ahead and get those bolts cleaned up, put the alternator on, and then I'll put I got my installer, so I'll install that pulley for that power steering pump, and that'll probably be it for the night. Okay, so I've got the downpipe kind of figured out. I've got the pulleys put on, the alternator's bolted on, power steering pump pulley, I got it pressed on. Got it quite a bit done today. The next thing I'm going to do is do the 4-link in the rear. It's going to be a pretty big job, but I need to get that tubing before I can complete that project. So here's what it looks like right now. It's not done yet, obviously. I haven't welded the V-band on or anything. I have to either find a smaller V-band flange to mate up to my turbo, or I'm gonna have to mill this one down. I have a lathe. We can just trim it down to match the turbo flange. But once that's fitting good, then I can get that welded up, work on the 4-link, get that done, finish the exhaust. There's quite a bit of wiring to do still. There's a lot of wiring to do to convert it, for an LS, obviously. So it's going to be a pretty big job in there itself. So yeah, here's what it looks like, and yeah. So here's what it looks like with the downpipe on there. Everything clears pretty good. I still have to trim it down because it's still touching that spark plug wire. I haven't touched the downpipe since I've put it up in there. I just got the alternator bolted down with the bolts. Got it plugged in, coolant temp, power steering pump pulleys pressed on all the way. Everything clears the lines and everything. So everything's going good with this so far. Pretty happy with what I got done today. Still a lot to come. So see you next time.